Good morning, family. Good morning. Welcome to my writer's life. Welcome. This is Alicia Anabel Santos, the writing midwife. This is episode 13, Impostor Syndrome. And this morning I had so many ideas about what I wanted to talk about and so many things that are heavy on my heart today as a writer. But I want to check in because yesterday was really, really loud. And I really wanted you to get my message about how important it is to manage our time well and to do what we can to avoid procrastination. I know that procrastination is part of the process. It is for me. But I would like to challenge us. I invite you to really be intentional about how you're coming to the page. And so when you're setting a timer, when you're doing a Pomodoro, when you're, really committed to completing a work, you have to figure out what that looks like, in a real way for you as a writer. So I hope that I got that across. I know that it was loud because I was teaching and the kids were running up and down the stairs. But Pomodoros will save your life. Please let me know how it feels for you. I set a timer for everything. I actually set Pomodoros to do the dishes and work in my house. Like I give myself I'm only gonna spend 10 minutes on the dishes. And I do this because I want to get to the page. So I want to manage my life in a way that I am honoring the writer. I'm honoring the story. So today's about the imposter syndrome and how real that is. Imposter syndrome, meaning that we feel like we're a fraud. We feel like we're not good enough, smart enough, capable enough, qualified enough to tell the story, to be a writer. And how has that shown up in my life? I remember when I first came out as a writer back in 2001. I was brand new, like literally days old. And I shared with someone that I love that I was going to be submitting 35 pages to a writing competition. It was for the Miami Book Fair in 2001. I had never written anything. Well, I didn't know that I was a writer. I've always written, but I didn't know that I was a writer. So I, at that point, was writing a memoir titled Becoming Me. Yes, Michelle Obama stole my title because I had that years ago, 17 years ago to be exact. But Becoming Me, It's Okay in My Skin was the title of the memoir. And the 35 pages that I originally wrote were about my family. It was about my parents. And the person that read it actually said to me, no one would want to read that. No one would want to read that. Nobody cares about my family. Nobody cares about this story. This person even went as far as to say, Latinos don't read. I'm going to put the snide remark, the offensive remark to the side for a moment, just to talk about how that moment how it would play out years later, where I would question my ability as a writer and whether or not I had a story worth telling, or whether or not my story mattered or I mattered. That moment, a weaker me, it could have paralyzed me and made me never come back to the page. And I know many writers that has happened to, where they have taken a writing workshop with someone, and I'm thinking of a woman right now, someone very respected, someone I admire as a writer, but who I think is a shitty fucking teacher. I think she's an asshole for real. She's incredibly famous. But yo, for real, she's an asshole for telling writers that their writing sucked. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that I have to bring people down. Listen, to bring people down to show them the reality of, maybe this work isn't good enough. I think that we all have a journey and we all have a process And we're struggling with our own self-doubt that I don't need someone that I respect and admire to tell me that my shit sucks. And this was someone that I love who told me that no one would care about my story. And so you begin to doubt yourself and you begin to think that you're an imposter. How dare you want to write? Who do you think you are? What qualifies you to tell this story? It would be years before I broke that, shattered that belief. And I'm being completely honest, I still battle with this idea of imposter syndrome. Every time I have a deadline, every time I have to submit something, it's not something that just goes away and then I wake up and like, fuck it, I'm who I am. I know I got this. I'm the shit. It is a work in like it is me affirming it every single day that I am qualified, that I can do this, that I do have a story that matters, and that I do have the ability to create beautiful art. So I wanted to jump on because I think that, as writers, I think it's courageous. I think, Junot Diaz said once at a talk that I went to see him, anyone who's writing anything is writing a revolution. I believe that. Anyone who's writing anything is writing a revolution. We're saying, you're not going to tell me how to think, what to say, what to put on in these pages. These are my characters. This is my story, and I have the right to tell it. I think that's empowering. Writing is empowering. Being an artist is empowering. And so I wanted to just jump on real quick and kind of share that story and let you know that it's all right. Imposter syndrome is real, but we have to do the work of silencing those voices, those motherfuckers who are telling us that our work isn't good enough. They don't have to like it. But our only job is to sit down and do it. And so here are some writing prompts. The person who told me that I couldn't do it is really go there. Pause this writing meditation to really reflect, journal, to get it out of your body, because as we get it out of our body, we get out of our way and can get to working. What they said did what to me? What they said the truth is, when I sit down to create, what happens? The truth is, when I sit down to create, that's for you. My intention for today is to come out my page with so much energy and a fierceness and a force that all those motherfuckers who told me that I couldn't do it and I couldn't be shit, they can get the fuck you, and we're going to keep it pushing. I believe in you. I know you're not an imposter. This is what you were born to do, so go do. Peace.